All right, let's go ahead and move on. We up next we have the Saints who are 5-3 taking on the Tennessee Titans who are 7-2. The Titans are at home and favored by 2.5 points. The over/under is 44.5. Something that is surprising considering their record, but not so surprising considering the talent level of their receiving core is that the Saints are ranked 31st in passing yards, and the Saints have not had a 300-yard passer this season. Something that could be an interesting thing to follow if you're into live betting. The Saints have scored 77 first half points in their 5 wins this season, 7 first half points in their 3 losses. So if they go and get off to a hot start, might want to sprinkle a little bit on the money line considering they're underdogs here. On the Titan side, you know, that story that impacts fantasy managers is that Julio Jones has 0 receiving touchdowns in 7 straight games against the Saints, which is the longest drought he has against any team. Then again, this is a new year, a new team, and the Titans are off to their best season start since 2008. So I personally am not too worried about that Julio Jones stat, but it's definitely one that I've seen floated around out there. Fantasy wise, Julio Jones, AJ Brown definitely smash plays in this one. Personally, on the running back side of the Tennessee Titans, I wasn't too hot about either one of those guys, Adrian Peterson or Jeremy McNichols. None of them. Is that his name, Jeremy? I don't know. Such a no-name guy that I
Who
don't
even
even want to play
knows?
him. And then on the Saints side, the thing that you have to watch out for here is Alvin Kamara. He does appear to have some sort of knee injury. He went into the blue tent, but went back out there in last week's game. The Saints have been bringing in people to try out for the running back position and see if they're going to be signing on yet another person. So they've already brought in Melvin Ingram, and now they might be bringing in someone else to help spell Alvin Kamara. So definitely just something to watch out for. Hopefully he's good enough to go this week, but at this point, I just don't have enough information to give you a definitive answer on that one. As for the game, I'm going to be leaning on the Tennessee Titans in this one, even though it's 2.5 points that I have to eat there. I think that the Titans are just a significantly better team than the Saints at this point, even without Derrick Henry. And because I'm still getting, you know, not having to pass through that key number of 3, I think that it's still a okay play to take the favorite in that one. With the over under of 44.5, personally, I am leaning towards the over. I don't like going back to back over so early because, generically, I want to stay on more unders, but these two games in particular, they just scream over to me. Jake, what are you thinking?
Yeah, as far as fantasy goes, I like everybody that you hit on. Again, pay attention to Kamara with his injury. If he is spelled and it is going to be more 50-50, it's going to be a tough matchup in this one for Mark Ingram to get going. I'm not a fan of throwing him in this week. I know he had a pretty decent week last week. I would just sit him out again and not worry about him this week. Kamara's the only one I really like. Um, yeah, this game I went back and forth because of not because I don't believe in the Titans, just because I think the Saints are such a wild card. You just never know weekly who they're going to be, what they're going to turn up as. They got talent on there. Their defense looks good, but then you also look at their stats, and as far as fantasy goes, top, I think they're top 10 in giving up fantasy points to wide receivers. So I'm going to take the Titans on this one, mainly just because I believe in the Titans and their consistency, even without Derrick Henry. We know what type of team that is. We know what they're going to do. If you can hold out, I would definitely hold out on the Titans running backs this week. Again, let's see how they look. I know Adrian Peterson had a touchdown last week, but that's pretty much all he had. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with just Kamara for the Saints side. Throw out Julio and AJ for the Titans. Call it a day for fantasy, and yeah, just 2.5. I'll take that for the Titans. And again, with you, I like the over on this one. It's a low enough number that I think AJ Brown gets free on a nice play or two. Even Julio, I think, could have a nice solid game enough to get in the end zone. Saints with that wild card offense. Yeah, I'll take the over on this one as well.
And then what we didn't mention was the quarterbacks. I would definitely still play Ryan Tannehill if you have him. Um, in terms of what's going on with the Saints quarterback, that one's kind of weird with Simeon instead of oh God, what's his name?
Hill, Taysom Hill.
Yeah, Taysom Hill. What do you think is up with that? Why isn't Taysom Hill getting the start despite he was just coming back from a concussion?
I mean, I don't know. I have no clue because all the reports initially told us that Sean Payton saw Taysom Hill as his Steve Young. But ever since Drew Brees has left, that words are just words. His words have not shown with action. So I have no clue. I think they're gonna, with him coming back, I think they're gonna add him into the game plan a little bit more. I think they're gonna use him more as that gadget guy that he used to be, and definitely they throw him in a little bit more. So I'm not gonna start any of the Saints quarterbacks. I just don't trust them at all. We'll see how Taysom Hill gets integrated into this offense, but I don't think Sean Payton trusts him anymore as being a true starting quarterback in this league.
Yeah, definitely weird considering it seemed to be such a 50-50 toss up going into the season between Jameis Winston and him. And now he just seems to be back of the line.
Yeah, to Trevor Simeon, who was terrible with the Broncos, but seems to be decent with the Saints. So,
Serviceable, serviceable.
yeah, serviceable.
Thank you for listening to this little highlight of the 2 Minute Drill podcast. If you want to follow along to other games, here's a playlist for you. If you want to listen to the show in its entirety, show links are in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.